So one bag can do quite a lot of yarn comes from it. But then when we crochet it, we're going to need quite a few balls. So it's good to get maybe 20 balls done before. And if, as I said, if they're striped, you want to have a whole big ball of one, and that would probably just go across and maybe a little bit of a second row. Okay, so now here we have, I would say 1 yard, 2 yards, 3 yards, and 3.5 yards of Plarn out of one bag. I'm going to work on a newspaper bag now. Oh, okay, and I'll just show you how you can connect it. So I had another bag, this was one other bag that I had cut, and you would put it through, make it into a T, and then put the ball through and pull it. So again, just like putting 2 rubber bands together. Okay, all right, there we go. All right, and then we can roll that up. I'll show you how to do that later. Okay, right now we're gonna go on our green bags, our newspaper bags, and I'm gonna fold it a couple times because it's hard to cut the seam off when it's so thin and flimsy. So we've got quite a few folds there, and we wanna make sure that's, so you don't want to do it right at the bottom. You want to do it a little bit further up so that it's going to be open all the way. Because then you'll be frustrated when you begin to crochet, or somebody will be frustrated when they begin to crochet. So we lay that down, and you know what? I'm going to do 2 together this time. And you'll see, this is, the newspaper bags are so easy because we don't have to worry about handles too. And there's much less waste. All we have is that little piece of the seam. Okay, so all that we have to waste is that. And the rest of it is going to be put right into our mat. And now I'm just going to layer them one on top of the other. Now you see there's a little bit of a jagged edge here, and that's not to be concerned about. The cuts don't have to be perfect because when they get folded up to crochet, they're going to be all tucked away. All right, and you don't have to worry about the printing either. Print is nice, no problem. Okay, so fold it up once. Fold it up twice, and I'm going to fold this in half, and right in the half point I'm going to stick my scissors and cut, and then my friend says to cut it in the middle, and she makes 4 sections, so right in the middle, that's 1/2, and here's another half. You look like they're a little bit more than 2 inches, but that's fine because the thicker they are, the more cushion for the people who are using them to sleep on. Some people use them for sleeping. Some people use them as a couch where they sit there and entertain guests, or they sit there and do their homework. Use it as a sitting place instead of being on the ground. So we make a T with our loop, and then put the one side through the other part of the top of the T and pull. That's one. And we open up all the sections and do. So this is much smaller loops that we're working with. Put one back through and pull. Put one through and pull. All right, a few more. So we're not working with a large strip or a large loop. We have much smaller ones, but these are nice, really. This bag is so smooth it slips through the crochet hook. It's very nice to use, I think. Working with Plarn is a little harder than working with yarn, so it's a good idea if you want to try to do this, to do a small piece, like a washcloth size, and see how that goes before you attempt to make a 3 foot by 7 foot long, or rather 6 foot long sleeping mat. I started out with a sleeping mat, and my first sleeping mat, I just went straight into it, and 3 foot wide and 6 foot long. And well, let's just say the second one is always better than the first. But you can fix them up at the sides. The problem was that the sides weren't straight, but then you can add a border on to fix them all up to make it neater. Okay, some of these mats are taken to churches, and church could just be a place where people meet, a gathering place, and it gets in. Sometimes there's just a platform of wood there, and so they would put the mat out for people to sit on. And in schools they use it as like a circle time for their students. So here we have the Plarn strips, and now we're going to make them into a ball by wrapping them around your hand a few times, but loosely. My fingers are open so that it isn't tight. And then the other way. And then we can add some more. Wrap it a different way. Just keep wrapping it around. Now I have some that was made before, and I'm just going to add on to it by putting it through here. Let's see, I'll put it through this way, and then pulling my ball through. So these balls can't be made real big because you have to be able to put them through. So they can only be as wide as one of these links.